What's up, friends? Welcome in to Rock Chalk Sports here on ESPN Kansas City. Thanks for watching as well on kansasnation.com. With Dan Courtwright, I'm Sean Kellerman. We are here in the Kansas Nation studios on Mass Street and happy to bring you another edition today. Here in the opening segment, we're talking Chiefs football,
Do we
which
have to?
was not – it was an exciting game. It was not a happy game.
It was exciting is the right word.
We'll get into that. Yeah. The Big Cats took us down. They do have – I mean, those uniforms, they need to stick with those. There's no 100%. About that.
Yeah. I don't know why they ever moved on. Remember when they had like the weird, like it like was cut in half, like the front was black and the back was gold.
The Blake Bortles years.
That was so weird.
Yeah.
Well, granted, they did go to an AFC championship with those helmets.
That's true. And also with that quarterback, Blake Bortles.
Yeah, absolutely
ridiculous.
Insane. Yeah.
The Chiefs were wearing the all-white unis, which I think are the cleanest look. I'm a big fan of those.
100%. Let me think about that. So it was Nick Foles, Blake Bortles.
Oh, my God.
Tom Brady.
That's right.
And who did the Eagles beat in the NFC Championship game? It was another
guy
horrible
who
quarterback.
Like that. So
it was like it was like laughable. It was like three.
Was it 2017? I don't know why. I want to say 2017.
2017 NFL.
I gotta look this up. I love how we're immediately getting into this.
I know. It's one of the funnier graphics I've ever seen because it was like four guys going for one.
So it wasn't 2017 because the Chiefs were. The Chiefs were in that, right?
So it would have been the 2016-17 season.
Okay.
It was a 16-17 season, I believe.
We absolutely have to prioritize this right now. The 16-17 season. You're gonna have to find that. I can't find it. Anyway,
I'll look around for it.
Point is, Jaguars beat the Chiefs for the first time since 2009. It was the birthday of your boy, Trevor Lawrence, and he got a victory. We'll break that down here in the opening segment. Next segment, Dan, we are bringing on a special guest from the Kansas City Sports Authority podcast.
It was Case Keenum, by the way.
There you go. Good pull.
Isn't that hilarious?
You found that quick, man. God, that's impressive. Who's our special guest?
We're having a very special guest come on the show. It's Keegan Russell from the Kansas City Sports Authority podcast. He does a weekly podcast on YouTube as well as everywhere you find your stuff. Always great to have Keegan. We've had a partnership with him for quite a while. First time going to be on the show. So that's going to be very exciting. So we're going to hear from them. Going to break down everything KU football as well as some KU basketball news as well. Just continue to talk about this hot streak that Bill Self has been on in the recruiting trail for 26 and 27.
After that, we are going to hear from some Jayhawks postgame, our final postgame audio from Saturday. Trey Lathan and Jalen Dye spoke to the media. Of course, Jalen Dye, the biggest play of the game defensively for KU, the game-changing sack fumble. After that, it's a Top 10 Tuesday.
That's right.
We have a lot of really good ideas that we're going to get into down the line, but what are we working with today, Dan?
So I'm doing a special top 10. Thanks for bringing that up, Sean. You never say it's special top 10 anymore.
I got rid of it.
They're all special. I'm doing a top 10 Tuesday today. It's a fun one. I thought of this idea because we in this new kind of job, we meet a lot of people and you kind of got to break the ice every now and then.
This world of NIL.
In the transfer portal and rev share and all that different kind of stuff. So I'm doing because since I've been meeting new people and having to break the ice, I'm doing my top 10 icebreaker cliches that I personally say.
This is now great.
Just all there's a lot of really good ones that have been overused, and I mean, Sean, I'm the king of overused jokes.
Oh my God, and cliches. It's brutal. It is.
I'm very good at
brutal.
it. So I'm making a top 10 of all my great icebreaker cliches. Some of them are very situational. Some of them are for people who, maybe they're an old friend you haven't seen in a while. Maybe it's a brand new person.
I already know one. I already know what one that's going to be on.
I have a really good list.
I really want to say it, but
so
I should hold off.
No. Hold off because I've got a lot of good ones. I'm the master.
Looking forward to that to kick off the 5 o'clock hour. After that, we're going to go back to KU football, hear from Lance Leipold. He spoke to the media yesterday, of course, gave the unfortunate news about tight end Deshaun Hanukkah and how Hanukkah is out for the year, but he'll talk about Texas Tech as well. A lot of resources in that program. And we'll close out expanding a little bit KU basketball for 26-27, but also, hey, late night. It's a week from Friday. That is coming up at Fog Allen Fieldhouse. Tickets are on sale now, so check that out. All right, let's get into this Chiefs game, Dan. 31-28, Chiefs fall to the Jaguars. They're 2-3. Patrick Mahomes was incredible. He, of course, did have that one interception that ends up being a 99-yard touchdown return. Trevor Lawrence also would have an interception that proved to be vital. But the Chiefs got up 14-0. It looked like they were playing prime Chiefs football, right? They were making us believe that they're back to being the Chiefs, but the Jags were able to get a touchdown before half, took the lead on that 99-yard interception return, and then kind of a back-and-forth affair. Jags end up getting the late scoring drive to win it 31-28. I will say that Isaiah Pacheco, solid again, over 5 yards per carry. Just want to get that out there. But anyway,
sure.
before you start talking bad on Pacheco, got to get that
he
out
had
there.
7 carries for 36 yards.
5 yards carry. Every time you complain about him. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is the Chiefs are now 2-3, and you've got the Lions coming in next week. Where are you at panic button wise, and some other things that you want to highlight from this game, which ended up being a disappointment?
Should I start off with some positives? I guess there are some positives.
No.
Game.
We're 2-3. Don't start with positives.
All right, I'm not going to start with positives.
You can get to positives eventually.
Zero
but no,
positives
we lost
at all. We lost. Trevor Lawrence. I'm not out on him. I'm still not out on him. I understand he has 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions on the year. Had a really bad interception against the Chiefs, which I thought was essentially going to be the game clincher. Turned out not to be. He still went 18 for 25 for 221. Had a touchdown and a pick, like I said. Chiefs had 3 sacks. I thought that they were getting a lot of pressure up front, which I thought was good. Some negatives in this game. First of all, Xavier Worthy. I'm hitting the panic button on him. And I mentioned this when the Chiefs did draft him. Now, he's a very good wide receiver. He is emerging as our number 1 because Rashee Rice is still on suspension. So, obviously, you look at a guy like Xavier Worthy and you go, okay, well, you need to get that guy the ball as much as possible. He is too damn small and too damn skinny for his own good. He is still dealing with these injuries. He went out hobbled on his ankle. He was questionable going in with his ankle injury. You need to get... I said this when we drafted him. I said he needs to get some meat on his bones.
Okay, well, he's not built like that. He's not going to. Hey, well, before the show, I said you can't open with Harrison Butker. We got to go through this game. And now all of a sudden you're talking about Xavier Worthy and how he's the problem?
I'm saying that he's
the
injury
Chiefs
prone
because
he's not the problem. He's not the problem. I'm not saying that he's the problem. I'm saying that he needs to get a little bigger. He had 42 yards. I thought he had an okay game, right? He had a 19-yard reception. I thought that was great. Tyquan Thornton, by the way, has been electric all year, right? He had 90 yards on this game, 34-yarder, only on 5 targets, 3 receptions. I mean, Tyquan Thornton has been a lifesaver because of the fact that Chiefs haven't had Rashee Rice. And I've said it before, Rashee Rice is sort of that Ferrari waiting in the garage to go on out there. So I think once the Chiefs get Rashee Rice back, they'll be okay. So I'm not hitting the panic button on the Chiefs quite yet. I'm hitting the panic button on Xavier Worthy, not because he's bad, but because I'm afraid of the injury proneness that he is, or how do I say that? I'm afraid of the injuries that he's prone to. Yes. So that's my main concern with him. Isaiah Pacheco, I'm still out on him. I don't want him on the team anymore. Kareem Hunt, I thought looked good, right? He had 7 carries for 49 yards. Chiefs weren't really able to establish a run game very well, except for with Patrick Mahomes, because he was able to, be flushed out. Patrick Mahomes was the leading rusher for the Chiefs. That's not acceptable. You cannot have Patrick Mahomes be the leading rusher for the Chiefs, who had 11 more rushing yards than your starting running back, who had, what is it, 24 more rushing yards than Isaiah Pacheco did have the entire game. That's unacceptable. You cannot have Patrick Mahomes be your leading rusher. Patrick Mahomes is good at scrambling out of the pocket and getting those extra yards and getting downfield and extending those plays. You can't have that. You have to be able to establish a run. Now, on the flip side of that,
for what it's worth, Trevor Lawrence was the leading rusher last night for the Jags.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
So for what it's worth, if you flip the field, if you will, the Chiefs defense did a solid job at stopping the run, right? And we saw Trevor Lawrence have to run and scramble and get down and slide on a number of different things. They did a good job of containing Travis Etienne. He had 12 carries for 49 yards, so I thought they did an excellent job of that. Also, that goal line stand where they punched the ball out of Trevor Lawrence's hands. I believe it was Nick Bolton who did that. Incredible play by Nick Bolton at the 1-yard line. Trevor Lawrence trying to punch it in. Ball gets knocked loose. Fantastic job. But I was talking about this with you, and I believe I was talking about this with somebody else off air, about how interesting the similarities between this game and the Kansas-Cincinnati game was, right? Because the Chiefs go down, and they score with Kareem Hunt to take the lead with 1:45 left to go on the clock. the Kansas Jayhawks go down against Cincinnati. They score with Levi Wentz with 1:45 left to go on the clock to go up by 4 points. So that right there is like, okay, that's a little crazy. And then now the Kansas Jayhawks, they let that up with their defense alone. The Jaguars got really good field position because of a gigantic miscue by Harrison Butker, who kicked the ball out of bounds. That gave the Jags the ball at our 40-yard line. You absolutely cannot do that. Now, I can complain about Harrison Butker, and again, he's another guy who I want off the team. I think he's gotten very bad at his job. But Jalen Watson in the secondary gave up the two biggest plays that I have seen. One of them was to Brian Thomas down the right sideline, wasn't able to get a finger on it. Brian Thomas was able to stack him. Trevor Lawrence perfectly placed ball. That got them into not only our territory, but into field goal range. And then Jalen Watson on the other side gave up a gigantic play, pass interference, gave him first and whatever at the goal line. They were able to go in there and score. Trevor Lawrence, by the way, that last run that he had, snaps the ball. They're at the 1-yard line. You're thinking you have to let them score here to get the ball back into Patrick Mahomes' hands. All of a sudden, Trevor Lawrence is on the ground, 5-6 yards into the backfield. You go, get him down, tackle him. Because if you do that, then all of a sudden you can actually get a stop there. And that instead of being at the 1-yard line and having to push that in with, a second left on the clock as time is expiring. But Trevor Lawrence falls on the ground, gets back up, and runs completely untouched virtually into the end zone. Chris Jones on that play. Did you go back and watch the film?
Yeah.
Chris Jones on that play was standing completely still, watching that happen.
Yeah, there's rumors that he deleted his social media. I haven't
$44 million check.
I haven't
to hit
checked,
his bank
but there's
account.
rumors that he deleted his social media.
Chris Jones?
Yeah.
Look, here's the thing. He's getting older. I understand that. Put in a little effort, okay? You were a top 10 player in the league last year. Act like it. Play like
I'm kind of
Put in the
tired.
effort like
people
it.
are going to maybe not like this. I'm kind of tired of him sulking after the Chiefs lose and not going
Same.
across and shaking hands.
I'm tired of it too.
I'm tired of
Hey,
it.
man, take it on the chin.
You lose.
You know what I
Mahomes
mean?
is always out there shaking hands.
Absolutely
Okay,
he is.
So you have touched on a lot of stuff. The Chiefs had 13 penalties for 109 yards.
They absolutely
The
did.
penalties. You mentioned
Horrible.
the pass interference. That's why they lost this game. You look, the Chiefs were actually +1 in the turnover battle. That really is, I mean, the fumble at the goal line would have been a turnover on down. So it would have been 1-1.
Yeah, it was
Both
fourth down
quarterbacks
anyway.
with a bad interception. And unfortunately, the Chiefs couldn't tackle the Jags on the interception that ended up going for 99. The Chiefs were gift-wrapped an interception from Trevor Lawrence on a terrible throw, and they were able to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
But 13 penalties for 109, Jags just 4 for 25. First of all, you're not hearing a lot on social media, right, about that?
That's true.
I mean,
That's very true.
If the roles were flipped, I mean, people would be calling for rule changes
There
right
also
now.
were
in the
some
NFL.
There also were some questionable, and I will say that I'll say this: there were some questionable calls that the Chiefs wound up getting, right? And it was bad for the reputation.
Yeah,
because
no, and
everyone
I'm
says,
not.
Oh, the refs always think that the Chiefs. Oh, the
Yeah.
refs are on the Chiefs' side, and there was some.
I'm not
calls
saying
there
that this is
you-
because of the
okay.
Zebras. I'm saying there are too many penalties in general
Yes,
on the
so
Chiefs.
I think that should negate that. That should cancel out because they did call plenty
And that's
on
fine.
the Chiefs.
But if the roles were flipped, just saying, and because people love to do this, like just like in fouls in basketball, if one team has 9 fouls and one team has 2.5, everybody's gonna say, "Oh, one has 9." Well, the other team's fouling more.
yeah.
That's why they're getting called more. It's not.
Right.
It's that, and
More penalties, yeah.
all these people out there who are watching, they want to see, oh, well, okay, this team has 6 fouls, so this team needs to get called for 6 fouls. That's not how it works.
Right.
I mean, I understand there are moments where officiating can seem to be one-sided or actually is one-sided, but that's not how it works. I feel like if the situation was reversed, the Chiefs win by 3. The Jags are flagged 13 times. The Chiefs it would be a different story. It would be. But Chiefs fans are not choosing to do that. Chiefs fans are looking at this at face value saying, okay, we're 2-3. What are we going to do moving forward?
Which, by the way, Jack Cochran, talking about the penalties and even special teams, Jack Cochran had 2 back-to-back kick returns where he was holding.
Yeah. No, it was brutal. It was
I mean,
brutal.
You cannot do that.
Mahomes, again, was awesome. He, of course, had the interception, and that was a factor. There's no doubt that could be a 14-point swing. but he's the first quarterback this year, 300-plus passing yards, 50-plus rushing yards, a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, because he has had to do it a lot. So the Chiefs obviously don't have the trust that they need in their running backs, and who knows what it's going to look like moving forward if they need to eventually trade for a guy who's more of a bell cow or what they're going to do in the future. But yeah, Thornton did have 90 receiving yards. Kelsey, his best game statistically, 7 catches, 61 yards, and a touchdown. But ultimately, the penalties really clipped the Chiefs. And now this was the concern because you looked at the schedule when the Chiefs started early, and Chiefs fans are weirdly this year kind of taking these losses in stride.
Yeah.
I think they recognize that the Chiefs are going up against good teams, and that's going to be the case again when the Lions come to town. But it gets to a point where you gotta start winning games more consistently. Last year, the Chiefs' third loss was in the Super Bowl. They were 17-3 through the regular season and the playoffs. So something needs to change, needs to improve, because they could take their fourth loss Sunday night against the Lions, and that wouldn't be a huge shock. The good thing for the Chiefs, when you look at this holistically, and it was what it was, the Jags got them, and happy birthday, Trevor Lawrence, and all that, is the Chargers lost, and the Broncos had 2 losses before this week.
Right.
So both those teams are 3-2. So the Chiefs are only 1 back. And I think deservedly so, Chiefs fans don't panic because they've seen this happen. I mean, maybe they haven't seen a 2-3 start, but they've seen it happen, whether it be in an individual game or just in general when things are looking bleak. Maybe you lose 2 of 3 or 3 or 4 or something. You're going to be fine because you have Mahomes. And I really believe that, and I think a lot of Chiefs fans do. But at the same time, I'm getting concerned, man, because there are so many difficult teams still that the Chiefs have yet to face. You could get to 11-6, absolutely. Would that win you the AFC West? I'm not sure, and it's a good thing, like I said, that only 1 over 500 are the Chargers and the Broncos, but the Chiefs didn't used to lose these games. They didn't used to lose so often, and yeah, there's some holes. Rice being back will be huge, I think, but they got to get some answers in the run game. Got to clean up the penalties. Cannot have that. And obviously, Dan, you're not a big Harrison Butker guy, but that kick out of bounds was bad on the last drive also.
Yeah, the kick on the out of bounds was obviously terrible. That put the Jags at the 40-yard line. Then Jalen Watson gave up the 2 biggest plays in the entire game. And then you look at the kickoff return, right, which I believe it was Brashad Smith who took it out, was going to give the Chiefs relatively good field position. Jack Conklin held on the second time in a row on a kickoff return. That put the Chiefs in a bad field position, right? If you got the Chiefs to where they're relatively close to midfield, I think that they potentially get into field goal range. Now, granted, you also had some miscues because on that last drive where the Chiefs had less than a minute to go, you had Hollywood Brown not even looking at the ball hit him in the shoulder pad. He had no idea where that ball even was. He was open and he had a hole. He could have gotten at least 15 to 20 yards on that, get the Chiefs around midfield. There was a miscue there, which granted I believe the Chiefs did have 3 timeouts left. So you didn't necessarily need to go to the boundary, but it still would have been nice to go to the boundary. I think you still continue to try to go to the boundary and potentially save those timeouts when you have a weird amount of time. I believe it was like 30 some odd seconds, or maybe it was even the 40s. I can't remember the exact amount of time, right? So you can still potentially go to the sideline. Hollywood Brown needs to turn his head around.
It was
right?
just, the timing was just a bit off.
Yes, the timing was off. There was some miscues there, and you're right. We're not used to seeing the Chiefs lose those type of games. We're used to saying, oh, there's 40 seconds left on the clock for Patrick Mahomes to drive down the field. He'll do it.
Are we going to get 3 or 7?
Right. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Like, how many points are we going to get here? Are we going to tie the game or are we going to win the game? Well, the Chiefs wind up losing the game. Now, the reason I'm not hitting the panic button yet is because what are the Chiefs coming off of this year? They're coming off of what could have been potentially the first ever three-peat in the Super Bowl era. They are coming off of the greatest dynasty that we have seen, led by the fewest amount of players, I guess is probably the best way to put this, right?
We're still in the middle of the dynasty.
So that's why, I mean, and granted, if you look at Tom Brady's career, right, he had the dynasty at the beginning, dynasty at the end. He went that whole middle part without going without going to the Super Bowl. Or I guess he went to the Super Bowl, lost a couple.
Which the Chiefs haven't even had to deal with that. They've been to 7 straight AFC title games.
Exactly right. So Patrick Mahomes knows nothing other than AFC Championship games at home even. So the reason I'm not hitting the panic button is because of the fact that we haven't. It's just so hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes in the postseason. We've seen seasons, including the 2022 season or whenever that was, when the Chiefs lost to the Raiders on Christmas Day and they had a bad record and there were some bad losses in there and you started to worry about, the wide receiver core. All of a sudden, bang, they're Super Bowl champions, right? All of a sudden, you're going to another one. You win 2 in a row. You're going to 3 in a row. You lose it to the Eagles last year, right? So Patrick Mahomes and this Chiefs team in the postseason is virtually untouchable. That's the reason, is because you still have that thought in the back of your head. No matter how bad this regular season could potentially get, if the Chiefs wind up losing the AFC West, which is a very possible thing that could happen right now. The Chiefs are 2-3, 1-2 on the road. Broncos look good. Chargers look good. Raiders don't look good.
No. They just lost like 40-3 or something.
Yeah, right. You have 2 solid teams who are in the AFC West who have been chomping at the bit, trying to get past this little gnat on their shoulders called the Chiefs, right? So this is probably the year that they do that. If the Chiefs make the wild card, do not count them out. Yeah. They could very easily still go to the Super Bowl because you have Hall of Fame head coach Andy Reid. You have future Hall of Famer Patrick Mahomes, future Hall of Famer Travis Kelce, future Hall of Famer Chris Jones. You have probably future Hall of Fame assistant coach, first time in NFL history, Steve Spagnuolo. You have all of these pieces, right? Plus, you're going to get Rashee Rice back. He's going to be fresh. He's going to continue to grow throughout the remainder of the season after the Lions game when he comes back for the Raiders game, which could be a potentially huge game for him because the Raiders are horrible. I'm not hitting the panic button. It's so weird. And like you said, Chiefs fans are kind of taking this in stride because they know that it's just, look, the Chiefs are not crumbling. The Ravens right now, they're crumbling. I think the Ravens are absolutely crumbling. Now they do have Cooper Rush at the helm and Lamar is hurt and they're dealing with some other things right now. I did see a stat where they've given up like 177 total points through the first 5 weeks, where I think the 2000 Ravens defense gave up like 107 total points in the entire season. This is a bad Ravens defense. The Ravens are crumbling. The Chiefs are not crumbling. I think that the time has come where teams are looking at the Chiefs and they're thinking, okay, well, we absolutely have to win this because it's the Chiefs. The Chiefs have always had a target on their back, and I think the Chiefs are vulnerable right now, especially in the regular season. In the postseason, do not count them out.
It's not something that I like to do, talking about announcers and bias or anything like that, but it was kind of crazy last night how obvious it was listening to Joe and Troy on Monday Night Football.
Troy Aikman hates Patrick Mahomes.
Just, oh my God.
And so does Joe Buck. It feels
just
like
in general, and I don't want to spend too much time on this because I think it's too tired. I think people do that all the time.
Yeah.
But it was blatantly clear, not only with what they were saying, but just the tone, the excitement when something would go well for Jacksonville, the disappointment when something would go well for the Chiefs, the flags, like everything was so, I'm like, man, this is so blatant. And I'm really somebody who does not try to focus on that. I don't buy into it. I don't want to talk about it, that sort of thing. But I was like, oh my God, this is out of hand.
Like there was one touchdown where I think like Joe Buck was like, and thanks to a missed call, the Chiefs score a touchdown. You're like, come on. Like, all right,
no,
whatever.
just the excitement on the interception versus.
Yes,
I mean, it's
that
crazy.
Too, yeah.
Hey, the Chiefs have a chance now. They're 2-3, but they've got a chance for some home cooking. 3 straight at Arrowhead. Of course, it starts with the Lions Sunday night. Then you get the Raiders and the Washington football team. You got to win both those games, right? There's no question about that. But then after that, you're at the Bills and at the Broncos, and then you've got the Colts. That was an auto win. I don't even want to know what you said in the preseason about Daniel Jones and the Colts because I just know it would be terribly wrong. It's no longer an automatic win. Do we think the Chiefs will win the Sunday before Thanksgiving against the Colts at Arrowhead? Yes. And then after that, you're at the Cowboys, of course, on Thanksgiving Day. That's an outlook for the upcoming Chiefs games, but 2-3 right now. Only a game back in the AFC West, but they got to start getting some W's at a quicker rate. After this, we are going to be joined by Keegan Russell from the Kansas City Sports Authority podcast to talk all things KU. Thanks for listening to ESPN Kansas City and watching KansasNation.com.
This is Daniel Highshaw, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Welcome back to Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com. You didn't complain as much about Butker as I thought you would.
I want him off the team.
I mean, off air, you've been complaining constantly.
I was telling you off air, like I literally want him.
Which I really don't. I don't
locker
understand.
Cleaned out.
There's not.
And I want his stuff on
even
the street.
8 kickers better than him. There's not 6 kickers better than him.
Yes, there is. His stats this year, he's like
lower
than the middle of the pack.
Whatever. You're not going to take only this year and act like that's who he is now.
You can look at that loss and say Harrison Butker and Jalen Watson lost us that game. You can look at 2 guys and say they lost us that game.
That's ridiculous. Jawan Taylor got flagged. We didn't talk about that. He was one of the 13.
Yeah, but that's a given.
I think he only got flagged once.
I mean, that's not breaking news. Jawan Taylor got flagged.
I'm not saying it's breaking news. I just wanted to bring it up so that you could complain about him. Jawan Taylor revenge game goes in the way of the Jags, 31-28. Hey, we're joined now by Keegan Russell. Keegan comes on the show from Kansas City Sports Authority podcast. Keegan, we're going to talk KU, but your thoughts watching the Chiefs game last night, since I know you're a big fan as we are, and a lot of penalties and another loss, 3 so far through 5 games for the Chiefs.
It's an uncanny season of the Chiefs for sure. That game, I didn't really feel uncomfortable with it until late fourth quarter. It was very evident that momentum was really swinging the Jags' way at the end. But yeah, the Chris Jones standing up there when you have a chance to make a play,
absolutely,
you don't see that coming from a star player. But yeah, very frustrating loss. A lot of things went wrong. Like basically start to finish, there was every drive there was something getting in the way, and you know we've seen the Chiefs be one of the best teams in football for a decade now at the little things, and a lot of those little things stacked up yesterday in a big way. And credit Jacksonville. I don't know how Trevor Lawrence falls, gets back up, and figures out how to run it into the end zone with guys around him there to make a play. But yeah, disappointing loss. I'm not really worried of the season yet. I've been telling people it really doesn't matter what their record is during the season. As long as they make the playoffs, that switch turns on more than most any team out there. I mean,
if they make the wild card,
nothing but AFC Championship game. So am I worried? No. Butker's starting to get more concerning. The field goals don't get me as much as it was the out of bounds kick on the kickoff. Because
I don't understand that. I mean, it's not on the level of a guy fumbling the football when he's about to score a touchdown.
Yeah,
and that's ridiculous how that still happens. But when kicker kicks it out of bounds on the kickoff, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's the one thing you can't do. And I understand there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just,
so
when we're playing Madden and you kick it down the middle of the field. Like, I understand that it's different on that front. But yeah, college, pros, it's like, it's such a, momentum gut punch too.
You have 55.5 yards where you can kick it straight down.
It's silly that something like that affects momentum, but it really does.
And the confidence level, had that not gone out of bounds and they return it, I felt pretty good the Chiefs defense was going to do enough to at least get them to field goal range, or at worst kick a field goal to go in the overtime. But that final drive, just disaster.
Yeah, well, from one big cat to another, the Lions are coming to town Sunday night. That's not going to be fun. Hopefully it's, I guess people like to say, I just hope it's a good game. No, I never want that. I never want that for KU anything. I want KU to win by 30.
I want it.
Game.
No, I'm with you.
I don't want
to watch.
I don't want to watch it like KU 41, West Virginia 10. I'll take that every time.
Yeah.
100%.
Anyway, Keegan, let's talk about the UCF game on Saturday. That was really a gut check win for KU. I mean, let's be honest, they've lost that game a lot the past season and a half, but this time it was the defense standing tall, and you still had to sweat it out, as we've grown accustomed to, but defense gets 2 big stops, and they find a way to get that 4th win.
I think what stood out to me the most about that game, completely 2 different halves. Bengali Kamara, I know Jalen has had a heck of a season. Bengali Kamara is the MVP of this team. It was so evident how much the defense changed when he's on the field. Not just athleticism, but you get guys lining up in different parts of the field because Bengali's quick enough to get off the line. I mean, the combination of him and Trey Lathan in that linebacker spot, probably 2 of the most athletic linebackers KU's ever had. And you see how quick they get off the line of scrimmage, get around the outside tackle. and stop a run in the backfield or put enough pressure on the quarterback to force things ugly. So there's been a lot of frustration with DK McDonald in his first season as defensive coordinator for sure. And there's definitely room for improvement. But the fact that he has Kamara on the field just completely changes how they can attack the offense and put guys in the right position. You know, I think back to that Jalen Dye forced fumble, just obliteration of the quarterback, takes him out of the game, which to UCF, you know, that actually put a different quarterback in the game that gave them some offensive threat. But you're getting guys that have opportunities to move around the field when Kamara is out there. That just puts them in a much stronger position. But yeah, offense looked really good for the most part. You know, not having Highshaw out there, you're continuing to see Williams, you know, take the workload. Been pleasant to see Harry Stewart out there and Johnny Thompson getting some run. Jalen's continuing to do what he does best. And, you know, you wish that record, if we're undefeated sitting here right now, we're talking about a top 15 team and Jalen, who's probably a top 5 Heisman candidate.
Yeah, absolutely. Keegan Russell joins us from the Kansas City Sports Authority podcast. And yeah, I liked what you said about Bengali Kamara because it felt as though a flip had switched for the defense. Now, I think the defense is really good coming out of the locker room, right? I mean, we saw the point differential between, you know, first and third quarter, between second and fourth quarters just throughout the season, throughout the season. But Bengali Kamara coming out was absolutely huge. I want to stick on the defensive side of the ball because of the fact that you have such a gut-wrenching and deja vu type of loss against Cincinnati. And you're in that situation once again against UCF, and they figured it out, right? They had that fourth and goal at the 1 goal line stand stop. And then at the end of the game, you know, they were able to, you know, hold on and win the game. And like you said, that Jalen Dye forced fumble was the game changer, right? Because that gave Kansas an opportunity to score the touchdown that was needed to win the game. Just talk about the growth of this defense and what you think changed between the Cincinnati game and the UCF game.
Yeah, I do think, I mean, every team's going to go through injuries. Injuries are always going to have an impact on the game. It forces guys to play out of position sometimes, but it also gives reps to those guys in practice that might not get as many. We've had injuries in the secondary. You've seen a lot more Jalen Dye than we probably anticipated early in the season. I think that is part of that switchover. When you get guys out there and they have more playing time, they get more comfortable in the scheme, you get into a game rhythm, a nice flow, you start to pick up on those nuances of the game as it progresses the more you're out there. So I think that definitely helped, but just the overall speed of Bengali Kamara on the field, it just allows you to do so much more because you know the quarterback is going to have less time to throw the ball. So you're not relying on your safeties and corners to man guard for 7 seconds. You know, it's 3 seconds or less. They're going to try and get that throw off. So KU's done a good job of adjusting and credit DK McDonald. I mean, that second half, like you said, they were locked in every possession. The goal line stance, I can think of maybe a handful of times in the last 10, 15 years that type of play happened from the Kansas defensive line. And you're seeing the size, you're seeing the athleticism, the length causing a problem, the tenacity on defense. And that's going to give them confidence because this weekend they're going up against, I would argue, one of the 5 to 6 best teams in the country. I know Tech's, you know, top 10 right now?
Number 9,
Number 9. Yeah. I think they're one of the top 5 offenses in the country. They come in with one of the strongest defensive lines in the country as well. And seeing our defensive line show up in a moment like that, it's going to give them confidence to go up against the big boys. I mean, this is SEC football. Texas Tech's throwing a lot of money on both lines of scrimmage, and they've got some of the best, but KU coming off of a goal line stance like that gives you so much confidence in yourself as an individual, as a player, confidence in the guy next to you. And it's going to give Coach McDonald some confidence that when he sends guys out there, that they're not afraid of that type of moment. They're not going to get pushed around.
Yeah, and we'll preview Texas Tech a little later, but I do want to flip the field and talk about the offensive side of the ball. Jalen has been having an excellent season so far. Daniel Highshaw out. He could potentially come back, but Deshaun Hanukkah out for the season. Absolutely kind of a gut-wrenching thing because he's such an easy guy to root for, right? Local kid, you know, came back with a red shirt. He's the old guy. Everyone calls him grandpa. And then being able to, having to, you know, go out with an injury like this is just absolutely horrible. But I think that the tight end room as a whole has been really been able to step up with Bowden Gruen, Carson Brune, those guys like that. What are you seeing out of the offense? And do you think Jalen can keep up this momentum? Because this is a different different Jalen that we've seen, right? We used to see this happy-go-lucky Jalen who's, bouncing around. He's laser focused, locked in this year, and he's having one hell of a year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, losing Hanukkah, man, you're crushed for him as a player. A lot of hype coming into last season, coming from Iowa State. We all thought we were going to get this big, long tight end to be a pass-catching threat down the field. Has the injury pre-camp, misses the whole season, comes back, shows it early. Mizzou game, one of the few guys that was finding space and getting open. So losing him is a big, big bummer. But they do have a pretty deep tight end group. I mean, Leighton Cure, another guy that hasn't gotten a lot of talk. I think we'll start seeing some more of him sprinkled in. He's got some good hands. But Bowden Gruen, yeah, he had an impressive game, not just finding space, but kind of becoming a reliable target for JD in those third down situations when you need a little bit of a chunk play where Henderson might not be open just yet. You don't have the time to push it down the field. So like what I'm seeing there, Carson Bruin, we all know him coming in as a prospect was supposed to be the highest ceiling of the tight end group for the next couple of years to come. And he's going to get a lot of action now early the rest of the year as a freshman and playing down the stretch. But Jalen's super confident. He looks fantastic. As long as the offensive line continues to hold him up, I think we'll still see, the occasional place where he pushes the ball too far, or he takes off running just a second too early, or the one that stood out to me from that game was where UCF tried to force him left because they know he's not as good throwing on the run left going to the right. Yeah. And he tries to spin back around to go right, and they're waiting for him right there. I think you'll still see occasional plays like that, but overall, there's very few quarterbacks in college football right now that you would want leading your team out there. The confidence, the tenacity he plays with, the energy, he gets guys fired up. He takes a hit, gets right back up, and is ready to go. He's playing some of the best ball we've seen in his career, and we always know the potential was there with his athleticism. So keep the offensive line moving. We've got a wide variety of pass catchers. Again, one of my favorite guys, Keaton Kubeka, is finding more ways to get impact. Good route runner, strong hands, dynamic group. And whether you get Highshaw back or not, another guy you're just crushed for, just can't stay on the field. But the running back group, there's enough depth there to pick up the pieces and still feel pretty good down the stretch. But yeah, big defensive test this weekend to see. I think this will be not necessarily Heisman moment for Jalen because the season's not quite where we need it to be for that. But you're going up against one of the best defenses in the country.
Statement game, yeah.
Career legacy type game.
Yeah, absolutely. If KU is able to go down there as big underdogs and pick up a win, I mean, that's huge for the program. And, yeah, that would be one of the defining moments in Jalen Daniels' career. I mean, he's already got a new stadium that he essentially helped build, right, metaphorically. And I
didn't see him with a hard hat on.
He's been great, of course, now in his 6th year at KU. Keegan, one more football question I just wanted to ask because you were talking about it a little bit, the running back room. They haven't been as efficient, as good in general as we had with Devin Neal. We'll just say that. But there are some pieces there, and we're seeing some more playmakers, even at the quarterback spot. You saw a run from Cole Ballard. You've seen Zeke Marshall. He got a couple carries. And Jim Zabrowski talked at his press conference about it's just about getting the playmakers out there. Well, Zeke's certainly a playmaker. You can see he's got some juice in his legs. And then Harry Stewart, a guy I'm really impressed with. It's not much, right? Maybe you see him featured 4 or 5 plays. He was a check down on one, but a nice catch on a low pass, and he was able to run for 8 on a 2nd and 7, and then he moves the pile. Just a sophomore, so we like what we see in him. But your thoughts on those guys and the fact that we're seeing maybe a little bit more of the future of Kansas football as well?
I mean, first off, no one's going to live up to the shoes that are being left open by Devin Neal in his career. Devin had some of the highest IQ of a running back I think we've seen in a while in college. But the group you have now, LaShawn Williams, a lot of experience. He's got multiple ability. I mean, he can catch out of the backfield. He's got a nice cut, good speed, and I think he's a hard guy to bring down and tackle. Johnny Thompson, I think you see a lot of speed with him. Hasn't had as much look as Harry Stewart, but I think this running back room, you see speed and you see athleticism. Harry Stewart's got an ability to hit the hole quick, and the more repetition, the more attempts he gets, not just in practice but in game day, is going to continue to push that confidence like we've talked about with other position groups. And it's going to be a nice balance for LaShawn because you don't want to get to a point where you're making him the workhorse and he's getting worn down by later in the game. So having a guy like Harry Stewart to kind of change it up, add that speed factor to keep the defense honest. And when you get both of them on the field, you got 2 guys coming off the line of scrimmage out of the backfield that can catch the ball and create in space. So you've got some good talent there, which makes you even more hopeful for next year as they continue to develop at this running back room. We've had a couple, I think 5-6 years now where the running back room has been one of the strengths of this team.
Yeah.
And it looks like that potential is still there for the next couple of years.
100%. Keegan Russell joins us from the Kansas City Sports Authority podcast. Keegan, one more football question for you before we get into the hot streak. I know he said one more, but I got one more because Bill Self's been on a hot streak, and we want to talk about the future of Kansas basketball. But just wanted to talk to you about if you share the same sentiment as me in terms of if Kansas would have lost that UCF game, then the Texas Tech game is essentially a must win, or else the season is completely over. Now you win that UCF game, you have momentum. All of a sudden, this is completely changing the narrative of this Texas Tech game, where it's like, this could be a statement win for Kansas, and this could get us back in the Big 12 championship conversation. Do you share that same sentiment? Also, you talked a little bit about the great defense and the great offense that Texas Tech has. Give us a preview of this upcoming game on Saturday in Lubbock.
So you're going up against a juggernaut. Texas Tech, both sides of the ball, one of the most efficient teams in college football. They have played very, very disciplined football. I think back to the Mizzou game. You could see aspects of the game where Mizzou outmatched us athletically, physically. That's my biggest concern going in this game. If we can't match the intensity at the line of scrimmage and that physicality, Texas Tech is the type of team that can bully you, they can punish you, and they can run all over you. And that's why it's a 13.5, 14 point spread right now. KU's a massive underdog. Does it change my outlook on the season as a whole, depending win or lost? I don't think so, because I don't think coming into the year, looking at this game on the schedule, was one many of us had circled as a KU's got a pretty good shot at winning this game.
Yeah.
Now, are they talented enough? By far, absolutely. Offensively, they can keep up. Defensively, though, they're going up against an offense that can exploit a lot of this defense's weaknesses. Now, again, your linebacker group being as athletic and speedy as they are will help. Must win for Big 12 championship aspirations, 100%. Bowl game aspirations, not necessarily. You still got enough schedule left to get back to that standard, but it's certainly going to be a big test. And I think not just a test for this season, but a big test for Lance Leipold and his tenure here of how much development have we really seen from this team. Last year should have been the best year in program history, potentially. Didn't go that way. This year should be relatively close. So this game's going to be a testament. If you can hang with the SEC, even though it's a new SEC team in Texas Tech and that NIL defensive line, offensive line they've got, that'll be a big statement for their program for recruiting purposes, for future conference realignment potential that's out there. So it's a big game for sure, but I don't think win or lose, it's going to change my approach to how the rest of the season looks.
And that's why I don't think the win against UCF, the importance of it can be undersold, because if you're 3-3, 1-2, then it's, things aren't looking good from prognosticator standpoint with Texas Tech. All of a sudden, where are we at? Well, now you look, we're 4-2. We just won a game on the road. Last year through 6 games, we were 1-5. Okay, you go against Texas Tech and you roll the dice and see what happens, and then you got 2 home games after that. You're feeling a lot better. So I think, and I said this yesterday on the show, I'll probably keep saying it, but I think as long as Kansas gets to some sort of bowl game this year, no matter how many wins they end up with, you're going to look back at that UCF game and you're going to say, yeah, that was one they had to win. So I was elated after that because I think it needed to happen. Hey, real quick basketball question. Bill Self's been on a tear the past 7 to 10 days. 4 guys coming in, 4 or 5 stars, highlighted, of course, by Tay Kenny, who was the first to commit to KU verbally. Your thoughts on these guys, because it's a lot of talent coming our way.
This is, I say this every year. I'm always super excited for basketball season. I am super excited for basketball season.
Right.
Not just because of the guys we have this year, but yeah, the heater that Bill Self's on. I'm a pretty pale guy. When I go outside in the summertime, I need a sunscreen up. I imagine if I was walking around Bill Self right now, I'd be getting a burn from that reflection of the heater he is on. Man, my goodness, the recruiting hot streak he's on. I guess let me look in the camera when I say this. If you had a doubt at all because of the last 2 seasons that Bill Self was washed, he was losing a step, this hot streak the last 2 weeks should be proof that Bill Self is ready for the next level. And I think it is lost on the casual fan, the significance of the self-imposed sanctions, the NCAA case over the last 10 years basically now, how much that hurt us in the recruiting. we could not go get those top level guys year in and year out. It just wasn't going to happen. And regardless of how NIL sitting now, Nike and Adidas throwing money around left and right, Bill wasn't in all of those conversations that we're traditionally seeing. Whereas now, every top recruit, whether it's intentional, whether it's just a marketing scheme, KU's a finalist again. And I think what we're seeing as you look around at Duke of the last several years, Kentucky over the Calipari era, and even just Texas the last 5-6 years, Bill Self has made it imperative that the guys he's going and getting are not just tall, they're long, they're lengthy, plus wingspan, super athletic, versatile 1 through 5. And you're seeing how the class of next year and the start of the 2027 class, and even the guys they brought in this year, it's all about, we're not going to get outpaced on the court. We're not going to get out hustled. We're going to match pound for pound, speed with speed, strength with strength. And we're going to put guys on here that we have not seen in a Kansas uniform. And even guys like Calderon this year as a freshman, who might be towards the end of the bench, the length and athleticism you're seeing Bill Self go out and recruit is at the foremost of what he's looking for right now. And it's paying off in a huge way. And, Javon Bardwell, 2027 recruit, very good chance he reclassifies to 2026.
Yeah.
If he does, he's going to be a top recruit in that class. Maybe the Tyrant Stokes potential replacement now that he's signed with Nike, but you've got some really, really exciting pieces. I think Davion Adkins has potential. I think he's a top 30 recruit right now, 34, if I'm not mistaken. If he has a really good year, he'll be a 5-star recruit by the end of the year, and he'll be in the top 20. So it's coming together nicely. I think Bill has changed his approach. The transfer portal is important. You have to go after it. But with the way NIL is affecting who goes to the draft and when, you got to go get talent and speed and athleticism and figure out the rest later. Are guys going to leave next year? Probably. Will there be a transfer that we're surprised about? Potentially. But it's all about how do I put the best roster possible for this season? Let everything else come later. And I think so far he's off to a quite the tremendous start for sure.
Yeah, really is. So you're telling me that you think there's going to be an NBA combine invite or two these next couple of years?
Should be.
Probably not going to have a
That be
situation
nice? A
where
nice
nobody
breath of
was
fresh air?
invited. Yeah, it's going to be night and day how it looks for KU from a speed, length, athleticism, balance standpoint these next couple of years with all these guys coming in. Can't wait for that. But yeah, your 32nd ranked Kansas Jayhawks basketball team,
According to Rothstein.
according to John Rothstein, that is
Rothstein,
ridiculous.
he's
Hey,
a joke.
you know what? Put us 18, put us 20, whatever. We've said that many times, but we're excited for it for sure. Keegan Russell, Kansas City Sports Authority podcast. Appreciate you coming on, man. We'll get you on again as basketball season approaches because appreciate your insight and looking forward to another fun year.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Super excited to be here. Appreciate
Of course. Going to hear from a couple Jayhawks after this. Jalen Dye and Trey Lathan post-game the win against UCF. You're watching KansasNation.com.
Hey, this is Cole Ballard, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Welcome back to KansasNation.com. Hey, let's go back to Saturday post-game press conference. Jalen Dye, huge play, biggest play of the game for KU defensively, and Trey Lathan, who's been a stalwart on the linebacker side of things for KU as well. They spoke to reporters after the 27-20 win.
All right, guys, we have Trey Lathan on your right, Jalen Dye on your left. Go ahead with the questions.
Yeah, Trey, I guess just from the perspective of the defense, how did things change in the second half?
We came out flat, and we came as a group together, and we just told each other we had to pick up the energy because it was a long game ahead of us. They were hitting us early, doing a lot of things that we weren't prepared for, and we just had to put our cleats in the ground and get grounded to the game.
What was the mentality like on those last two drives, trying to stop them from tying the game?
Man, we was trying to get a W. I think that's just the tenacity that we have. That's with anything. We try to win. No matter if practice, like playing the catch around, we try to win at everything. So.
What was Coach McDonald's message to you guys at halftime?
We just gotta play our game. We weren't playing our game. We came out flat, like I said, and we just gotta play our game. And it's gonna be a long game.
Jalen, what did you see on the play where you got your strip sack?
I just seen the hole open up like the Red Sea, and then hit it.
What's it been like for you with the injuries happening in the safety room, just being ready to play and taking advantage of the opportunities you've got?
Just be ready at all times. You never know what's gonna happen. Like last year, we had plenty of injuries, and it was next man up mentality. So everyone got to be ready at any time.
What was going through your guys' head on that? You stuff them 3 times at the goal line. How did it feel? And what was kind of go through that?
Get them down by any means necessary.
It was pretty amazing. you know, you expected to lose in that situation, but, you know, when you come out with a W, it's a great feeling.
What was it like on the sideline heading in the 2-minute warning when you got second and goal at the 1?
We just gotta, you know, remain focused. Cause I think that's the biggest thing. You know, God, when you get in that position, your mind starts running, your heart starts beating fast, and you know, we just gotta stay focused.
To have the struggles that you guys had early in the game, like you said, didn't feel like you guys were ready to play or at the level that you need to play. To come up with all those big defensive plays in the second half to seal the game and ensure that you win. What does that say about this group and what you guys are made of?
We got a lot of dog in us. You know, like I said, like we like winning. We don't like losing, and you know, that's just tenacity that we play with and we practice with, and things that, you know, Coach Leipold and Coach DK, they instill in us every day.
Trey, you got credit for the tackle on that 4th and goal play. I guess when you made it, did you know that you stopped him short?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I knew he was short.
I guess, what did you see on that play?
I just, like, I saw a guy flash right by me, and then I saw he had the ball, and I just tried to get over the block as fast as I could just so I could stop him.
Just a question for both of you guys. Beginning in the first half, it seemed like UCF was really commanding on the rushing side of the ball, but that going into that second half, I mean, you guys dominated that aspect. What adjustments did you guys make?
It's really just standing in our gaps. We were out of our fits most of the time, you know, and you know, they were just popping us off. You know, like I said, our head wasn't really in the game, and you know, not lining up. You know, guys getting reached and stuff like that. So they were just creasing us.
What were you seeing from Jaden Nixon, Miles Montgomery?
Miles, he was running the ball really hard. You know, like guys, you know, we couldn't arm tackle him. As you seen in the first half, he was hurling us. You know, we had to go in there and put our body on him, but he ran the ball really hard. And Jaden Nixon, he's a fast guy. You know, they made a lot of fast, correct decisions, you know, when they needed them the most.
How much of a difference did Bengali make in the second half?
Big difference. Just having the impact that they had, you know, because I feel like they were targeting the boundary because we had, you know, a younger linebacker, but you know, when he came out, you know, the game it shifted.
And Jalen, for you, I know you're focused on your own stuff, but what did you see when Bengali was out there heading?
I feel like it was like Trey said, having young guys in the boundary. I think they were going to the boundary more, and I feel like when Bengali a more veteran presence, and I feel like it was just.
For both you guys, just a chance to have a bounce back on defense after last week. What does that do for you going forward?
You know, it just puts a lot more excitement because we got a tough game, you know, ahead of us, you know, on the road, playing against a ranked opponent. So it instills some confidence in us, and, you know, it helped us going into this week, you know, with a chip on our shoulder a little bit.
You guys win a one-score game. I know everyone's talking a lot about that. How does that feel? And you know, did you kind of take the monkey off the back a little bit?
Like just winning is hard.
Yeah.
So like every W that you get, you got to celebrate. So.
Anything else for these guys? All right, thank you guys.
I appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
That is Jalen Dye and Trey Lathan after the victory, 27-20. Hey, we are on ESPN Kansas City and on KansasNation.com. Thanks for tuning in. After this, a very special Top 10 Tuesday with Dan Courtwright. Stick around on Rock Chalk Sports, ESPN Kansas City, KansasNation.com.
This is Daniel Highshaw, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Rock Chalk Sports, 5 o'clock hour here on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com. Sean Kellerman, Dan Courtwright, rolling you through your Tuesday, which means it is a Top 10 Tuesday. We veer away from the sports side of things just for a bit, and both of us are excited for this one, Dan.
I love it. So, as you know, we in this new adventure of ours, we are meeting NIL on the transfer portal, and also, you know, in our new job, we're meeting new people a lot, and we're also seeing a bunch of old people again for the first time in a while. And I've noticed, as well as everybody in my life has noticed, that I overuse cliches and jokes and everything virtually. So I decided to make a top 10 of icebreaker cliches. And again, this could be icebreakers for anybody, right? And there some, like I said, some of them are very situational. Some of them are for an old friend that you're seeing for the first time in a long time. Some of them are for brand new people. Some of them are for mutual friends who you're meeting for the first time, who you know somebody else. So this is one I'm very, very excited about. So let's go ahead and get it started with
let's do it.
Number 10 on my top 10 icebreaker cliches that I always use. a classic one. Everyone loves it. It's, oh, there he is. There he is.
There he is.
There he is.
There he is.
I use that so much.
Oh,
there he is.
See, it's simple.
I know it's so good. It's so good. I absolutely love it. There he is. He's like, me? Yeah. There he is. There he is. Now it's, oh man, it's such a good one because
It is.
it
It
immediately
makes-
it's inviting too.
Yeah, and it
It's
makes
like,
the person feel good.
yeah, right. Absolutely. Like, they're
You talking about me?
You talking about me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, get in. Oh, there he is. Come
Very-
on.
very
It's
simple.
inviting. It invites them into the conversation that you're
Yes.
having. That's such a good. It's a classic too. It's I use that probably once every 2 days.
Yeah.
Easily.
And,
I'll say that to my dogs. Like my dog will walk in the room and be like, there he is.
No, we go to media availability and we see some of our comrades over
Yeah.
there. There he is.
Oh, with Henry. Every time I see Henry, there he is. There he is.
And Henry says, "Hello, Daniel."
Yes. Hello, Daniel. How are you? I'm good, Henry. That's the interaction every time. I love. Oh man, I love it. I love it. Henry Greenstein, recurring guest of the show, our favorite guest probably,
is KUSports.com
and the Lawrence Turner World. California native,
You can catch him on
California kid.
tomorrow's show of Rock Chalk Sports.
That's right. All right, number 9 on my icebreaker cliches that I use all the time, similar to there he is. It's speak of the devil. Speak of the devil, because then you're really like, wait, you were talking about me.
Yeah.
What were
Is
you
it
saying
good?
about
Is it good
me?
or bad? Is it true or
Right.
false?
You're like, oh, geez. Oh, man. Now, those two are guys that you know and haven't
Right.
seen either A, in a while, or B, you see them every once in a while, and that's, you're just seeing them for the first time that day, right? Oh, speak of the devil, right? Like, what were you saying about me? Like, that's, why are you talking about me while I'm
You're
not
right, though.
here? What's,
Both of those, there has to be an understood relationship that was already formed.
absolutely.
There he is.
Also, if you ever actually are talking trash on somebody, you're never going to go like, oh, speak of the devil.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's like
if
you
actually
are the devil.
yeah, right. Yeah. You're like, man, I hate that guy. And he walks in and you go, speak of the devil.
Yeah. It's like, oh,
No, you never do that.
here's the guy
It's
that I
always,
hate.
you see that whenever you say speak of the devil, it's always in jest because you're like, oh, I was saying something about you, but like, obviously it wasn't bad. If I was saying something bad about you, which I never talk bad about anybody
Anyone.
really, ever. I'm a saint.
You kidding me?
Yeah. Speak of the devil. Those ones are similar, but they're a little different. I use a lot of these. Oh my gosh.
I love the simplicity of there.
so-
There he is. It's so good.
Number 8 is a great one, and you have to do this when you're sitting like at dinner or something, and you're meeting somebody for the first time. You sit down and you go, "You gonna finish that?" It's a great icebreaker. That one, it's
When
it's
you've never
funny.
met someone.
When you never met somebody ever, right? You're going there and you're meeting with someone with a mutual friend. You go there, it's their friend, you never met them before. You sit down, you go, "You can finish that?"
First thing you say.
It's a classic because that's like so intrusive that it's funny,
Right.
and that immediately breaks the ice. All of a sudden, you're pals.
There is
or
such-
and also it tests if they're a nice person or not. Because if you go, "You're gonna finish that," they go, "Oh no," and they give it to you. You're like, "No, I don't want it, but you're a good person."
The best possible response to that is if they respond with a similar icebreaker.
Yes.
Like if you clearly don't know them, but if you do something that is clearly a joke, like, "Are you gonna finish that?" and they respond with, "Speak of the devil."
Oh, right. Yeah. No. This is great.
Then you go home and you tell your wife, "Oh, I love that guy. That guy's
Oftentimes,
awesome."
I'll use this sometimes, and it's not an icebreaker. It's more of a awkward silence filler, where like we'll be sitting down and like for instance, there's a candle in the middle of you. You just go, "You can finish that?" Awkward silence.
one I've never tried.
You're talking, you're laughing. All of a sudden, like you get awkward silence. You can finish that? It's so good every
Okay,
time.
I gotta
It's
test that
good
one
every time.
out.
Write these down.
But
These
you're
are-
right though, because with that one, there's a line between. Let's just talk about things being intrusive. If you're a normal amount of intrusive, you're just intrusive.
Sure.
If you're over the top intrusive, it's great.
Yes.
Because it's clearly a joke.
It's clearly a joke.
And
yeah.
the person
Are you
has
gonna
to have
finish
some
that?
sort of
Yeah.
common sense.
I don't know you,
on
but
that front.
I want your food.
They've got to have the
It's
common
hilarious.
sense. They got to have the sense of humor. And then it works. But yeah, if you're just being intrusive, then everybody hates you.
Yeah.
But if you're being so over the top intrusive,
yeah,
people love you.
Yeah, it's great. It's great because like you said, it's very clearly a joke. Like I don't want to actually eat a stranger's food.
That is how situations like that are how guys become dudes.
Absolutely.
It really is. And again, that's where say it's a double date and your significant other is friends with another girl and you've met her also, but it's the first time that you're meeting her new boyfriend or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
That situation, if they respond appropriately, going back to what I was saying, is basically
that's how you know you click.
Yeah, you click or don't. But if you do click and he responds with something that's great, then you're going home to your girlfriend, your wife later that night, and you're saying, "Man, I love that guy."
Yeah,
right.
Man, he was awesome.
So it's all about kind of the
you click, you vibe.
Yeah,
no, it's very that.
I haven't tried the food one though yet.
It's really good.
I'll give that a shot.
You do that one for sure. Number 7 on my top 10 icebreaker cliches is. This is, again, when you're meeting a mutual friend that you never met for the first time. It goes, heard a lot about you, all bad stuff. Yeah. That's classic. Absolute classic. They go, oh, that's all bad stuff. Because it's obviously not. Because if it is all bad stuff.
You're not saying it.
If it is all bad stuff, you're not going to say, I've only heard bad stuff about you. It's only if you've only heard good stuff about them, then you say, oh, all bad stuff.
There's clear rapport there, too.
Yeah.
Where the person, and this is a classic cliche also, before you even say all bad stuff, it's just the general cliche of, oh, I heard a lot about you. And then the next person says, oh, I hope it was
good.
Yeah. Or all bad stuff, right? Or, oh, man, I hope it's all good stuff. Just a classic cliche icebreaker.
That's a classic little back and forth.
I heard a lot about you. Oh, boy, I hope,
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
All the time.
It's so good. I heard a lot about you. All bad stuff.
Yeah.
You're like,
throw in the all bad stuff.
It's so good.
All
bad stuff. All bad stuff. Number 6 on my top 10 icebreaker cliches that I use all the time. I love this one. It's so funny to use with like adults. This is for somebody you haven't seen in a while. You go, did you get taller?
Can't say I've used that one either.
It's so good. It's so good.
Did you get a haircut?
You're 34 years old.
I got about 30 of them.
Yeah, but that's the funny thing. It's like, you can say you get a haircut. They probably did. Oh, you get new glasses? Maybe. You lose weight? Sure. Did you get taller? No, they didn't. They're 34 years old. Of course they didn't get taller. That's what makes it very funny. That's what it's one of those where you're just like, all right, this guy's
icebreaker, somebody you've seen in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could pick that up.
Yeah, it's so funny with adults, right? It's so funny. Did you get taller? No, I stopped growing when I was 18.
It'd be funny, and the older the person gets, the funnier it gets.
Absolutely.
Like if Chris Courtwright walks in right now.
Yeah.
Man, did you get taller?
Did you get taller? You been growing? You little growth spurt?
He's like, dude, I'm 58.
Yeah, right. He's actually 64.
How about that?
He's 64 years
old.
Shout out,
CC.
Shout out to my dad. Did you get taller is so funny.
Okay.
That one makes me laugh. It probably makes me laugh more than it makes the person laugh.
Do you have something on here about getting more trim? Like, oh man, have you lost weight?
No.
I mean, that's a classic. Although then that's kind of turned into a bad thing if you say that to somebody.
Right. Yeah. Oh, was I fat before?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
what if they say
it
no?
It used to be, the person's honored if you say that.
Yeah. But now it's like,
so you're telling me I was fat?
So I had a problem
Yeah.
last time you saw me.
Right.
I was clearly fat, and so fat that the next time you saw me, you had to address the fact that I'm so not fat anymore.
Right.
Yeah. No, I understand.
How much of a
Yeah.
How much of a blank are you?
Oh my gosh, yeah. How much weight have you lost? Like 150 pounds?
Well, that's man, you look like you've lost like 220 pounds.
Oh my gosh, you look like a different person. Like,
wow.
Like I haven't done anything. What are you?
Yeah. Right.
Who is this guy? Oh man.
You got to be careful with that one.
Yeah, got to be careful with that one. Did you get taller? Use that.
Safe.
That's a great classic one. Only use it for adults because like kids, like they get taller. You know what I mean? Like you say that to like oh man, last time I saw you were this big, or whatever. Did you get taller to like a 45-year-old man? Is the funniest thing you can do. All right, what am I on? 5? Yeah, number 5 on my top 10 icebreaker cliches. Another classic. A friend you haven't seen in a while, or maybe you see him for the first time that day. Man, they let anybody in here.
Oh, yes.
Man.
Oh, wow.
They let anybody in
here. So they
here.
really do let anybody in here.
They have a low bar. They let anybody in here. Huh? That's such a good one.
I do use that one a lot.
It's a classic. I use that like that's a in the regular arsenal.
Yeah.
I use that at least once a week.
Totally. Like if you're going to an event,
Yeah.
for an example, and it doesn't really like you don't even have to be friends, but just like an employee, just to kind of coworker, whatever.
That's another one I say to my dogs.
Yeah.
They'll walk in the room and be like, oh, they let anybody in here, huh? It's my house.
just go up to a coworker at an event or something and just say, "Oh my God, they really let anybody in."
They let anybody in here. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's such a classic. Like, yeah, whatever. Oh man. Number 4. This is another. Is very, very specific. On my icebreaker cliches, my top 10 icebreaker cliches. So they have to have something in their hand, whether it be like a drink or something. Can't be alcohol, right?
Okay.
So if they have like Pepsi or like Pepto-Bismol, you go, Pepto-Bismol, trying to quit the stuff.
That's a Coke thing.
That's
for
a
you,
great
too.
one.
That's a Coke thing.
That's a
for
great
you.
one. That's a great.
I'm trying to cut back.
They have a Pepsi in their hand.
Trying to cut back.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to quit the stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to quit the stuff. It's funny because you're like, do you have a
I'm trying to quit the stuff.
Yeah, because I'm trying to cut back.
Do you have
people cut back on, or like a water is funny.
I gotta drive later.
That's
I can't.
So I don't have that one on here.
Yeah.
Not
as much of an icebreaker, but
that's a little later, in the day, right? That's a little later in the conversation. But like right away, icebreaker. You meet somebody for the first time. They have a water in their hand. They go, water. Trying to quit the stuff. That's funny. That's great.
I don't know if people would think that's funny.
That's a great one. Come on.
It's worked for you
joke.
dozens of times.
It's a little joke. A little, just toss it.
If you say so.
Toss it out there. It's funny. It doesn't have to get a big laugh. It doesn't stop the room.
Oh, well.
But it's an icebreaker. It goes, bam. That lets you know, hey, I'm a fun, jokey guy.
That's the thing about your jokes in general is that they don't require laughs. Oftentimes, they don't even have a laugh after them. I mean, it doesn't matter. Your jokes are still your jokes. And they're the same ones over and over again. That's the beauty of it. That's the Dan Courtwright special.
I just want to be abundantly clear. Every time, so the first 3 months that we worked together, you laughed at all of these.
Oh yeah, and then I stopped.
And then it stopped.
Yes.
Trust me, and that's how it is. That's how it's alarming to me that my girl, that my fiance,
same thing.
Fiance is still with me. Everybody in my life, like.
Does she laugh ever at you?
No, she's pretty over it.
Yeah.
All of it, I would say. She's over it. Oh yeah, I'll try to throw some jokes out there, and they just get like
eye rolls. And
the way that I know it's a good joke, and it's a good joke and be a new joke is that if she does laugh. Yeah, she's the best audience.
That's good. That's a good
best
bar.
test audience for anything like that. Number 3 on my top 10 icebreaker cliches. Love this one. You've heard of this one a lot too. So this is a very specific one where you're like, you're in a group setting and you're late. You're like the last one to show up. You go up, you're they're at a restaurant or something. You sit down, you go, couldn't find the bathroom, so I just went. That's a classic.
I mean, that is one of your go-to
That's
jokes.
A classic. It's an absolute classic.
When you're late, yeah.
You
got to divert the attention to something other than you being late.
Hey, guys, sorry I'm late. I couldn't find the bathroom, so I just went.
Do you have the other bathroom one on here? Like, you break out that trash can would not flush.
That's a great one, too. That's a new one that I've been testing out. Man, that trash can just would not flush. That's also a good one. But that's one where you go and you leave. But yeah, no, it's the sorry I'm late. I couldn't find the bathroom, so I just went.
Yeah.
So good.
The sink just wouldn't flush.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't
Yeah, you want to get that on record.
Trash cans. It's a joke, people. It's a joke. Also, I don't just go. I didn't just went. Is that right?
No.
I don't. It's a joke. It's obviously a joke. I only pee in toilets. Number 2 on my top 10 icebreaker cliches is go up to 2 people that you know that they're talking.
Okay.
Go up to one of them, say, hey, is this guy giving you trouble? Classic.
Dude, I've got that on here.
Absolute classic.
No, you got to do the classic.
Hey. Yeah. Hey, is this guy giving you trouble?
Is that guy giving you trouble?
This guy, hey, do you want me?
See, and
You ever
that's
take care of his-
very
is he giving you trouble?
similar to the wow, they let anybody in here, don't they?
Yes.
So they just let anybody in here.
So good. It's so good. It's a fun. And you can do that, like do it with a friend that you know, and then somebody you don't know, and then you go to the person that you don't know and pull over your friend that you do know and say, "Is this guy giving you trouble? You want me to take care of him?" No,
that's great. But the best is when you've met somebody like 2 or 3. You guys, are colloquial and all that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, because that way you have the connection with both of them.
Yeah.
Because one guy is thinking that you're, taking him under your wing, and the other guy is like, this guy made a joke. It's kind of funny.
Yeah,
I've heard it a million times, but it's still funny.
And also, you butt into their conversation, but that's the best way to butt into a conversation.
Yes.
Is to be like, "Hey, is this guy giving you trouble?" They go, "Oh no, we're just talking about blah 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 or whatever," and then now you're in.
Yeah.
Now you're in on the conversation.
Totally.
It's
Yeah.
great.
No, it's a classic.
Absolutely a classic. And then number 1 on my top 10 icebreaker cliches. Drum roll. Hey, this is for somebody you just met. This is one how you know that they're a cool guy. You go, "Do you want to watch 2016, 2017 Frank Mason highlights?"
Nice.
The best icebreaker.
It is. That's a
the
good
best icebreaker. Because if they say no, automatically, I'm not talking to you
Not your
anymore.
friend.
Not my friend. I don't want to be in the same room as you. If you say yes, we're
You're in.
best buds. You're in. We're in.
Yep.
2016, 2017 Frank Mason highlights.
National Player of the Year. I have got
Bingo.
a lot of honorable mentions.
Yeah, okay, please.
Well, I don't have a lot.
I have a few
Similar
too.
to this guy giving you trouble is the classic "Staying Out of Trouble."
Staying out of trouble is a great
Like
one.
anybody, yeah.
Hey,
I mean, you can say that.
hey,
You can
staying
say
out of
that
trouble?
to like your boss. Be like, "Hey, staying out of trouble."
Yeah, they
It's
go
like,
trying to. Oh, and then they go
Trying to. That's the same thing. It's the back and
It's-
forth.
Yeah,
So that's the same as like, I heard a lot about you. Oh God.
all
I hope
bad
it's
things.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. That's a
Staying
great
out of
one.
trouble. Oh man, your ears must have been burning when somebody comes by. You've never heard that phrase?
No.
Your ears are burning.
What?
Like people are talking about you. Yeah, Elijah knows what I'm talking about.
Your ears must be burning.
Yeah, same thing as. I'm trying to think. What was the other one that you had?
This must have been one that you used in the Victorian
Yeah,
era
it must
because
have
you were
been.
so old.
The ears are burning one is because it's the same as when people are talking about you. What was the one you had? People are talking about you.
Here comes Speak of the Devil.
Yeah, speak of the devil. So
Yeah.
similar to that.
Okay,
Same thing.
sure.
Like, oh wow, your ears must have been burning. That's a phrase. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
Oh my God.
Your
that's
ear,
crazy.
your ears must have been burning. That's a good. I'd never heard of that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Or like you're talking
it.
about someone and then they show up at the door and you're like, oh wow, his ears were burning.
Yeah.
Because
See, I think if someone
in a way hear that you were talking about them.
Oh, I just thought of a good one. I don't know if anybody's ever used it. I've never used it before.
Okay.
Like somebody say my name 3 times, like Beetlejuice. You've never seen. He's never seen Beetlejuice.
I've never seen Beetlejuice.
You say Beetlejuice 3 times.
The other thing I have is
He appears.
anything weather related is great.
Oh, so good.
I mean, just a classic icebreaker.
Man,
like,
it's
wow, it's starting to
unseasonably
finally-
hot.
Starting
Oh my
to
gosh,
finally
I
get
know.
turned out Kansas, am I right?
Yeah, horrible. I know. That's a great one. I have one where it's like if somebody introduces you to their friend that you've never met, you go, oh, please no pictures.
Yeah,
That's a
right,
good one.
right.
That's
Hey, no pictures. I'm
please
good.
no
Right.
pictures. Don't worry, this isn't a test is a good one. That's a fun one.
Yeah.
I've used that one like once. I think that's a good one. They're like,
Right.
oh hey, nice to meet you. You know, it's like,
Don't
hey,
worry,
don't
this
worry,
isn't
this
a
isn't a
test.
test. You know, that's a good one.
Confusion factor.
Come here often.
Yeah.
That's a good one. You gonna finish? That's great. Oh man, let's see. I have one that I used it on you today. I said, from work.
From work.
I have it. So one of my best buds, name's Cody. I hang out with him like 3 times a week. But when we first met, we played football together in Emporia State. But our first class together was a chemistry lab. And so I'll see him like on like a Wednesday or something. Like we're planning to hang out, and he'll walk through the door, and I'll be like, from Chem Lab, dude. "Oh, you bit!" And it's like, wait, I saw him like yesterday.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Does he have the rapport as well? Or
yeah, he goes, "Oh my gosh, dude, it's been how are you?" Like, it's
guys being dudes, man.
It's a great back and forth. You come here often. It's such a good one. Yeah, no, that's I don't know. I got a bunch.
Top 10 icebreakers. I love the back and forth ones.
The back
Those
and
are my
forth ones.
favorites.
This guy giving you trouble?
The understood.
Are you staying on trouble?
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Speaking of the
I can't believe
devil,
they didn't have that one on there.
They just let anybody in here.
Yeah,
the
that's
classic.
so
classic.
good. So good.
I mean.
Did you get taller? You got to remember.
I got to try that.
That's a good one.
I will try that.
On somebody who's like I said, 45 and older. It works. It's
sure.
so good.
Especially if you see them all the time.
Yes.
Like you just
Did
saw.
you get taller?
Like I know you said it works better for somebody who maybe you haven't seen in a while.
Yeah,
but you see somebody on Monday and then again on Wednesday.
Yeah. Did you get taller?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good.
Hey, that's our top 10 list of cliches.
Icebreaker cliches. Yeah.
We'll go with. Hope you enjoyed it here on ESPN Kansas City. After this, we are going to hear from head coach Lance Leipold. He spoke to the media yesterday at his weekly press conference in advance of a big one. KU and number 9, Texas Tech coming up in Lubbock. 6:30 kickoff on Saturday. That's all next on ESPN Kansas City, KansasNation.com.
Hey, this is Cole Ballard, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Victorious head coach Lance Leipold after KU picked up their 4th win. They're 4-2, 2-1 in Big 12 play after the 27-20 nail-biting victory in Orlando against UCF on Saturday. Here's everything Coach said yesterday.
Start with Matt. Lance, sort of a big picture question. There's been so much talk throughout your time here about the resilience of this team that continues to come up week after week. It was obviously a big topic on Saturday. My question for you is, when did you first see that? And is that something that you coach? Is that a staple? Can you coach it? I'm just curious how that sort of develops and where you see it.
I think it's a lot of factors. Once it's a staff mentality. I think it's an expectation of guys that hopefully you're seeing as you evaluate in recruiting. It's habits that you establish in the off season, in fall camp, and really it's just hopefully what you have, just daily in life. You have a lot of things that don't go your way, and what are you going to do about it, and how are you going to work through it, and all those type of things that can happen in life after football. And again, you challenged our guys at halftime and things like that. And again, it's great to see. You hope you don't get in yourself in those situations as much, but when it does occur, you're pleased to see that battle in them. So.
Did you see it pretty quick? I mean, I know 21's a while ago now, but did you see it sort of take root pretty quick?
It's never always just like with some of you, it's never as good as you always want it to be in certain areas, especially when you're not getting the result. But I think guys understand what the expectation is about of them and how we get there sometimes in the off season of where we're doing. And again, I credit the staff and Matt Gildersleeve and his people in the off season about expectations and what we do there. So, but I think it's been consistent. I think we go back to many of our conversations about the 21 season and beyond. I think the players that were here and continue to be here or pass that along as they're moving through understand that our staff will be consistent about those expectations and everything that they do while they're here. And once they see that, you're either going to buy in or it's probably not going to work, and not working for some is you're not going to play. And for others, you may be that you're not going to last here. And that's not ever what we want, but that's the process that you have to go through.
When you have a young guy make a play, whether it's Keaton a couple weeks ago, Austin Alexander, Dak Brinkley, how often do you see sort of that rise in confidence and see the level of play rise after they have, sort of a positive result in a big situation like that?
I think a lot of times, you see it, a guy kind of sees it in practice or something happens, but when he does it under the light, so to speak, another sense of confidence that, hey, I can do this and I can do it on a regular basis. And again, everything we just almost talked about, that daily and weekly preparation. If I just stay to it and I play fast and I play confidently, things will happen. If I use my proper technique and do the things that I've been coached to do, those things can happen. And you can see that with some of the guys, and hopefully we can continue to get that from some of those younger players.
Seems like Justice has really started to kind of stack positive games as well.
Yeah, he plays hard, does a lot. Coach McDonald and Coach O are, consistent. I will continue to be consistent on what he's doing, but very workmanlike and trying to build more steady, consistent days with him. Again, not being the tallest guy, there's got to be other things that he has to do extremely well, and he's been able to put some good things together. And as always, we're sure glad he's here.
And then, what have you seen from Texas Tech on tape so far?
Extremely explosive football team, an excellent team with lots of talent and depth. And I don't know if I've ever seen a FBS football game that went to 8-minute quarters as they did against Arkansas Pine Bluff. So that just shows, what they have. Most of their games have been decided early, and again, a lot of weapons. I get the thing. I think they're top 3 in every statistic that imaginable right now in our conference, and in the top 10 nationally. A lot of things that just says it's. Coach McGuire's got himself a really good football team. It'll be a heck of a challenge on homecoming night there, but our guys are going to embrace that challenge, and great opportunity for us to go down there and play well.
Defensively, there's a good group of guys who are kind of in their first season of contributing. Austin, John, maybe even Jalen Todd or Taylor Davis. How have you seen those players kind of grow throughout the course of the season so far?
Yeah, kind of the same thing, when you get more lives, because there's only so much live that we do. We've talked about it in here many times. So, when you get that game day live feeling of things, it's for some of it is on the job training. I mean, you've got to get those conference snaps, those quality opponent snaps that you have in non-conference, all those things, and you learn. But to see them learn and grow and become more confident, and that's why we talk so much to our guys about whether it be weight room and diet and all the other things that help them kind of get through a long season like this, why it's so imperative for them to embrace those things. But all those guys are starting to show all the reasons why we're excited to have them in this program.
Finn Lappin ranks really highly in a lot of the punting stats. Just how much of a weapon has he been, and how pleased have you been with him?
He's been excellent, he missed the one game, but again, very consistent. For what he's doing, he feels more and more comfortable here all the time, and again, he's been a valuable weapon. And obviously, as we say, we don't want to use him very much, but he's been productive when he's had to be out there.
Halfway through the season now, just holistically, where do you feel like you guys are at, both offensively and defensively?
Not as consistent as I'd like us to be. Again, I think we're better than we show, but again, if you are what you put on tape right now. So, and that's the daily challenge to this group. I think they know that and embrace it. They've seen the good and the not so good, and some of the things that have happened and along the way that result in that. And we continue to coach and challenge our leadership and our guys to keep working on those things. And we need a great week of preparation to go down there with a chance to win.
Lance, obviously, their quarterback like Jalen has had a pretty special season so far. What have you seen on tape from him, and is there any similarities between the two?
Yeah, again, like most quarterbacks in this league, it's, I said this to somebody is, I don't know if I'm answering the question, so you can bring me back to it, but is when Jalen makes someone miss, it's because Jalen's really talented and can extend plays, is really talented. But when we're playing against somebody and their quarterback who's really talented and does it, we don't tackle very well and stuff, right? So, I mean, that's what you see when you have a superb quarterback in this league. He extends plays, he can do things with his legs. But what you can see with experienced quarterbacks, and he's one that, give him credit for who he is, not just because he's a coach's son, but he's He's an excellent quarterback that's gotten better along the way, battled through his share of injuries. But what happens is with more snaps, just like the question about some of our younger players at the quarterback position, especially, you start seeing everything, and there's only so many stunts and blitzes and coverages you're going to see, and then you just get better at recognizing things and what to do with the ball, and the game really slows down for them. And their offense is geared in such a way that they get that ball snapped, and many times they catch you in things or in base things that make it difficult for you. But he's done an excellent job and is playing as good as anybody in this conference right now.
I think Lathan has continued to be perfect from field goal range this year, and obviously injury withstanding. How confident do you feel, when you're out there 50, 45, like how, you go out there and feel like, oh, you can make that?
Well, I didn't have all the distances, and I still don't, but the second field goal was a 40-yarder. Was that 41? So that was the 24-yard line. Okay, but he gave me 35 as his distance where the ball needed to be. So obviously he was about 9 yards off or whatever, 11 yards off. Sorry, of where it's at. But for being very limited, I think he tired in the game because he didn't kick as much, and he's feeling better right now. Hopefully, we'll get a full week out of him that he's back to where he was. But depending on the time of the game and time on the clock and things like that, we can push him past 50. And the great thing about him is, he's very mature and even keeled. That's not going to be, some guys. They know their range, and when you ask and you're kind of ask them to stretch it, they kind of give you a little look, but he doesn't. He'll be like, yeah, if I know if I hit this thing right, I'm going to make it. And I really admire what and again, his maturity and confidence and consistency have been a great addition to that specialty, the specialist room, but to this program as well.
There may not be like a straightforward answer to this, but I was wondering if looking back on Saturday's game, if you got a sense of maybe why defense started out slowly and how you can prevent that going forward.
Again, we still had way too many missed tackles, but there's some. I went up to DK at halftime. I said, "What do we got to do?" And he goes, "We got to execute better. What we're running." He says we're losing gaps, we're losing leverage, not setting edges, all the things we said. We do them better, and then all of a sudden we start doing them better. It wasn't like we went in and put in a new defense at halftime. And so the answer is we got to execute and as we say, trust our training a little bit better early in the game and communicate better, all the little things there. But if we can't start this Saturday like that against a team like this for sure, and barely finding a way to beat a good UCF team on winning's tough enough. Winning on the road's even harder. Winning against top 10 team will be even more difficult. So we've got to be able to start better. So all those things are there that I think it goes into some of the things that we kind of talked about with younger players. Henry is, again, being confident enough to trust what's going to happen, doing your job with confidence and understanding. But I know they're willing, and I know, again, we've shown flashes of being a solid defense, and then there's times where it has been concerning, and that's the same thing on the other side of the ball. There's times where we're pretty explosive, and there's times that we haven't been as good as we needed to be.
And then I wanted to ask, what kind of challenge will Texas Tech's defensive line present in particular?
Well, it'll be I think they're in top in like tackles for losses, sacks, and everything. So again, explosive, good front, very athletic. Bailey kid that from Stanford has been everything they wanted him to be when they got him out of the portal late. So very disruptive, and again, it's as good as front as we've seen. I know we played a good Missouri team and that, but this is an excellent defense all across the board, and it'll be a big challenge. And again, trying to stay normal down in distance and being balanced is very key for us in what we're doing.
Lance,
a win like that builds confidence. I'm curious if it's different when you do it on the road, coming from behind, and if that plane trip coming back is just different, maybe a style of confidence with it.
You know, it's a different feeling. Against obviously body language and morale's a lot better, obviously, and it sometimes can build you some extra confidence as much as coming from behind at home would be. Thank goodness that we did pull that out, because getting back at 5 a.m. and bouncing back with another road game and kind of that, it's always challenging, but it'd been even probably more challenging, walking in the room today with them. But it's good. Everyone is still, who's not on the trip, is part of the wins. That's the other part I always feel when you do win a road game. You don't want to neglect the ones who didn't make the trip as well. So we try to do that. But a night game on the road, that's a nice atmosphere they have there in the game day atmosphere at UCF. It's credit to them, and for us to be able to pull that out, I'm really proud.
You got a package of Isaiah Marshall's coming in on it. Has he shown something in practice that you like?
Yeah, we used him and Cole, and again, that's something that we'll continue to build upon. I'd imagine that's part of that is take some of the quarterback runs off Jalen, which is probably pretty obvious to everyone. But again, he has done a nice job. He hasn't hesitated, and he's made productive plays for us. The last third down play inside the 5 that we ran as we're trying to run the clock out was the exact same play that we ran with Isaiah, and unfortunately Kobe missed the kick out. Otherwise, we got a first down. So it's a play that's in. It's just sometimes we're going to use one of the other guys.
And I think it's been well documented that Texas Tech revenue share and NIL was probably top of the conference, and you talk about how talented they are. How much does that factor in?
Well, again, they've utilized their resources immensely. They've made a commitment. They're not shy about talking about it and what they've been able to do. And you can look at the 2 deep, and you can see that they've gone everywhere and anywhere to get players, and that's a credit to them. And it's the gaps that are still there in this. This new model we're working under, and obviously I think it's probably well known that they're well top of the league probably, and then there's the rest of us.
You mentioned the time you guys got back. How does a late night like that impact a Sunday, Monday, and then having to travel far on the road on the back end? How does that change the dynamic?
Well, we reduced some of the stuff we did today, try to get them back a little bit. We didn't practice quite as long or modified some of the things that we normally do. Staff-wise, again, the one thing you can't do on flights and stuff, obviously, you get the film watched on the way home and get some of that. Obviously, guys didn't come in quite as early, but as I told our staff, you're not as productive if you have some type of rest. And again, if you're working on fumes all week, you won't be at your best coaching, you won't be at your best preparing. So you worry about it, but at least staff-wise, if we start there first, there's some things that with a night game, you have a chance, to work a little bit ahead, some of our analysts and things, to get some work done that would normally be done on Sunday. You get some other ways to chip in. Hopefully guys got decent amount of sleep. Playing 7:30 versus even 6:30. We started our day a little bit later, but most of us are in our routines. But you hope not. It's tough. I think we talked about this last year about kickoff times, time zone changes, how far, when, but we're all up against it. So in this one, we played a majority of night games this year. We're in the same time zone, so we got to be ready, and I'm sure they'll be excited for kickoff.
With Deshaun and Daniel, are those 2 guys that injury-wise you feel like they'll be able to come back this year?
Daniel, we're hoping. Since I probably got to let you know sometime or other, Deshaun had surgery last week and he'll be lost for the year. You probably knew that already, but you just wanted to ask me. But Deshaun will be unfortunately, his season has ended. A quality young man. feel for him, everything that he sacrificed to get himself back to play. And, but Daniel will be, we'll wait and see when he'll be able to return, but we anticipate it.
You talked about different aspects of the Tech program. I'm just wondering if 5-0 and 2-0 in the Big 12 is where you thought Tech would be when you faced them this season.
Yeah, probably. I don't know if I went into the prediction area of every one of where it's at. Obviously, they won a big game out in Salt Lake City, but probably through everything. It's not. I don't know if I had a preconceived thought, but it's not surprising at all that that's where they're at, and again, based on what everyone thought their roster and expectations would be. So,
all right, thanks everyone.
That's head coach Lance Leipold speaking to the media yesterday. Big one on tap Saturday night at 6:30, 5 o'clock. Crimson and Blue Show coverage on the Jayhawk Radio Network. You can hear that, of course, on Sports Radio 810 WHB. After this, we're talking KU basketball, KansasNation.com. Thanks as well for listening to ESPN Kansas City.
This is Daniel Highshaw, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Hey, this is Cole Ballard, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Sean Kellerman, Dan Courtwright back here in the Kansas Nation studio. Thanks for watching on KansasNation.com and listening to ESPN Kansas City. Want to shout out Miles Schneider and Crown Automotive. Really appreciate all the great people over there and Crown Automotive's sponsorship here of Kansas Nation. Hey, Dan, some news came out earlier today. The Entertainment Sports Programming Network put forth their preseason top 25 rankings for basketball 2025-26,
and they're a lot higher on Kansas than John Rothstein
That's
is.
true, significantly higher.
Double
as
digits.
Rothstein had KU at 32. We look, and KU is at 22 here on this ESPN preseason top 10. Actually drops from where they were a little bit earlier. A couple months ago, ESPN had KU at 21. Got him at 22, and we'll just read this to you right now. It says, after a disappointing as the nation's preseason number one team in back-to-back seasons, Kansas won't find itself anywhere near the top of the polls entering this campaign. The Jayhawks haven't made it out of the first weekend of the NCAA tournament since 2022, with Bill Self having his worst Big 12 campaigns in each of the past two seasons. But potential number one pick Darren Peterson brings plenty of optimism. He's a truly exceptional offensive player. Flory Bidunga anchors the interior, and Self has a slew of options on the wing. Keep an eye on reclassified recruit Cole Rosario. So a lot of people are high on Cole. Projected starting lineup on ESPN: Darren Peterson, Melvin Council Jr., Jaden Dawson, Trey White, and Flory Bidunga. Number 22, your thoughts, Dan? We'll break this down a little bit more on tomorrow's Rock Chalk Sports, and then I have a follow-up question after you give your thoughts.
So I think people aren't as high on Flory Bidunga, at least in the national media, as we are.
I think that's probably
the main thing, right?
A good takeaway, or at least an appropriate takeaway.
Because you look at it and they're like, oh, yeah, well, Flory Bidunga is anchoring the interior, and then it shows his stats. And, yeah, if you look directly at the stats, Flory only had 5.9 points per game last year.
And I totally agree that this is a big reason why Kansas is going to be ranked way lower than we think they should be.
Yeah.
I think that was really well said, because bottom line is we expect a huge step forward from Flory.
Yeah.
People on the outside, not so much. If people on the outside start thinking what we're thinking, which is, hey, you have a 1-2 punch of DP and Flory who are going to be as good as any in the Big 12, then obviously Kansas is going to be higher. But, interesting there.
Yeah, I think that when you have a guy like Flory who was able to put up 6 points per game playing against an All-American type player in Hunter Dickinson last year, it's very impressive, but you don't really look at that if you're in the national media, because it's hard to look at, every single facet and how the minutes distribution lines up with everybody. They're just looking at Flory like, oh yeah, he was their backup big.
Yeah.
And I guess he's going to be starting this year. It's like, no, we see what Flory Bidunga is able to do. This is a guy who is a future NBA prospect, future NBA player, without a shadow of a doubt. So I think people are just low on Flory, and they understand that, hey, look, they had Darren Peterson coming in, but it's hard to put all your eggs in the freshman basket, if you will, especially in the transfer portal and the NIL era.
Of course.
So yeah, I understand it. Plus you have a couple of guys coming over from mid-majors who were stars at their mid-majors, and now they're coming up to the Power 4 level. Yes, I understand that, but it's just shocking to me. Now 22 is still relatively good. It's still in the top 25.
Just not KU.
Presumably, yeah, right. Presumably, Kansas is going to be in the AP top 25 preseason. They're not going to be preseason number 1, which I'm okay with because I'm a little stitious. But being at 22, I still think is criminally low. And now it's not 32 like Rothstein. I don't think that there's any, relevancy in that because, again, I kind of told you that Rothstein is slouched into a clickbait type of person. But at 22, I still feel like that's still really low for the amount of talent that Kansas has on this squad.
Yeah, and, we'll break this down and whatever. The number next to Kansas' name will be what it'll be. I wanted to get your thoughts on a guy we probably have talked about less than any other incoming player, and that's Jaden Dawson. Projected in the starting 5 on ESPN, and this article was written by Jeff Borzello, but Dawson, a guy brought in from Loyola Chicago, he's going to be heavily relied upon as a shot maker for KU. Type of guy who knows, maybe he'll be in the starting lineup and then not be in the starting lineup at some point, or maybe he'll not be in the starting lineup and then be in the starting lineup, but he's going to have to hit some shots. We haven't talked a lot about him. Of course, he came from a program that stresses defense in Loyola Chicago. Interesting to see if he's able to win that battle on the wing with a lot of talented younger guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we got to get to a break real fast, but I just wanted to say that with Darren Peterson at the helm, right, that's going to take a lot of pressure off those guys on the wings because Darren Peterson is going to be getting a lot of attention. So that's going to keep those guys more open than usual. And we saw Jaden Dawson, what he was able to do on the outside with his 3-point shot at Loyola Chicago. I mean, look, he was playing mid-major basketball, but you can't deny what's on the tape, and he's a damn good 3-point shooter. So I think he's going to be a big part of this team.
Yeah, we're going to break this article down more, of course, on tomorrow's edition of Rock Chalk Sports. Number 1, for what it's worth, is Purdue, and we'll tell you about some Big 12 teams that are higher than Kansas as well. But basketball season will be here soon, late night in the fog, a week from Friday. That's going to do it for Rock Chalk Sports today. For Elijah Schmidt running the operations today and Dan Courtwright, I'm Sean Kellerman saying we'll catch you tomorrow from 4 to 6. Thanks for listening on ESPN Kansas City and watching KansasNation.com.